first off, really nice meeting you in person.
Same.
Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Obviously, a huge win. First, I kind of wanted to talk about Jade in particular. She really displayed her offensive skill set throughout. What did you kind of talk to her pregame in terms of offense, and how did you really try to get her going in this game?
I really didn't have to, I don't have to say much to Jade. I think she knows, but right in the pregame, like as we're talking to start the game, I just said we need to get her involved early in the game, because sometimes we don't do that and we just kind of play and we forget that we need to get her the ball. And I think she attacked today when she got the ball, which helped a lot, obviously, and breaking their defense down and forcing them, like they changed what they did on her, I felt like, throughout the game, in the sense that she got to the rim a little easier in the first half. Second half was a little harder for her to get there because they were jamming lanes and stuff. And I think Jay just has to make adjustments throughout the game based on how people guard her, because they're gonna have a game plan going in, and then if that doesn't work, then they have to adjust, and then she needs to make adjustments to that. And that's a work in progress for us as a staff and for her as a player.
Yeah. So now kind of flipping it to talk about the defensive energy a little bit. In the second quarter, the defense energy was great. The momentum was great. You were really flustering GMU. Is that something you kind of game planned for? What did you talk about in terms of bringing that energy for the full 48? Because it really feels like that you guys brought that for the whole game.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of been our staple, and we've talked about defense being where we hang our hat on this year because we have enough offense, I think. So going into the game, we had 3 days to kind of get ready for them. So we talked a lot about 11, who is a phenomenal player. And we talked a little bit about how we help off certain people. And I thought we did a good job of digging. Like Jade in particular, I think she was on 15 a lot, and she could help off of that kid. And then Stack and Taylor getting their hands on balls and things like that was really helpful. And then Fish every once in a while comes up with some steals. So I think it was really of knowing who shoots the ball well for them and not really helping off those kids, and then making sure that when you can, that you do, because 11's such a difficult guard for us that and we didn't do a great job. Obviously she had 25 points, but at times we did throughout the game, and it flustered her just a little bit. But yeah, I mean, we still have a ways to go at that end of the floor. I'm not sitting here saying this was a perfect game plan by any stretch, or that we did it extremely well. I still think there's room for improvement. I'd like to hold people to the mid to low 50s. That's our goal, and obviously we didn't achieve that today.
I mean, kind of talking about more of the offensive again, you got a lot of contributions from a whole bunch of players tonight.
Yes.
How important is getting those, players, ready, getting them prepared, and just having the offense contribute, having contributions from everyone involved? How important is that for the game plan? How important is that for the success? How important is that for the win?
It's huge, because it can't just be Jade. People will take that away at some point, right? So I think having people score 8, 9 points is really crucial for us. Riley DeRubo coming in off the bench was huge, because she makes pretty good decisions. And being the fact that she can score coming off the bench is helpful. It kind of gives us like that boost that we need. She did it up at the Marist tournament against Vermont, so that was huge for us. And we just have a bunch of scoring. It's just a matter of who is it that day, and us trying to figure out as a staff who it is. And it's like you have to go through the whole bench sometimes to figure that out, which is hard to do, because sometimes when you sub people in and out, you lose your flow a little bit. And it's a work in progress as this group. I continue to say we're still not where we should be right now. And it's still a process, and we're still off to a slow start. But with the more games that we have, the more time we have with each other and practice, and in game scenarios, I think you're going to see more scoring as we move forward.
So I know in the fourth quarter you guys had a little bit of a lead. What did you see from the team in the fourth quarter when you guys were trying to close out the game? What were you seeing from the team in terms of defensively, offensively? What was the game plan when trying to close out the game?
I thought our defense was pretty darn good there at the end. I just think we fouled. Right, we foul, you put them on the line, you give them a break, you allow them to press a little bit, which didn't really bother us. The press didn't bother us, but when you foul, it's like it just kind of takes everything out of you, because you just played great defense for 25 seconds, right, and then you foul and put them on the line. So we have to get better at not fouling at the end of shot clocks. We've been doing that a lot, I think, lately. I would say offensively, we kind of tried to go to Jade a little bit more, but Riley also picked us up on a few plays there towards the end, and then obviously Taylor contributing the way she's capable of. It's just a nice 1-2-3 punch, honestly. I'd like to see Fish get more involved offensively. We've talked to her a little bit about thinking of scoring a little bit more than passing all the time, although she made some nice reads towards the end of the game as well. So, it's definitely a team effort. They're learning each other's strengths and weaknesses. I think I heard Taylor say that. And how to put people in those spots so they can succeed. And that takes time. But it's starting to come together little by little.
Yeah. Might I have one more question? Just a really quick one that you kind of made me think of. How do you build offense? I know it's your standard, post-game question, but where do you go from here?
Well, I mean, I look at this game and I say, all right, we got a W against an A10 team, which is a great win for us, right? I think that's what you take away. But I also think about how we closed out the game offensively and some of the decisions that we made. I'm like, we didn't need to throw that, right? So the turnovers are constantly on my mind. Free throw shooting, constantly on my mind, because that will lose you games. I think the thing I was probably most proud of today was the fact that we held them to 9 offensive rebounds. Like, they are double digits almost every game, and it kills teams. And it was just nice to see that we could do that. That was an aspect that hasn't been going great for us. So build off the rebounding, continue to work on the turnovers, and make our free throws. I mean, there's no reason why we should be missing our free throws.